Good morning, everyone. So in this class, we are going to see Spring Boot CRUD applications. So CRUD is nothing but create, read, update, and delete. Okay. So here we are going to create Spring Boot project. So before going to write coding, okay. So what are the things it is required? So that is very, very important. So that you need to get it confirmed. Okay. Spring Boot application. We are going to build it here. So in order to build Spring Boot application, so what are all required? So we need STS, okay, STS and JDK. So these are the prerequisites, 1.8 or 1.11 or whatever it is. Then the very first step, you need to create project. Create project. While creating the project, we need to add starters or dependencies. So what are the dependencies it is required? Spring Web, JPA repository. Then we need any one of the database, either H2 or MySQL. H2 or MySQL. So H2 is an embedded database, so no need to install any software over here. So if it is MySQL, then you need to install this MySQL into your machine. Okay, let's get started. Just click on this Spring Tool Suite. So this is my workspace. Okay. Okay. Meanwhile, for which one we are going to create CRUD applications, whether it is an employee or customer or products or student. So, okay. So here we are going to take it as example as product. Okay. Product. So product contains product ID, product name, product quantity, and product price. Okay. Just I'm taking, these are the parameters. Okay. So now in order to create Spring Boot project, go to file, go to new, Spring Starter project. Spring Starter project. You need to select Spring Starter project here. So here you need to give project name. You need to give project name. Product CRUD operations. Product CRUD operations. So here you need to select Maven project and Java version. I'm going to select as 8 over here. So this is a group name, like package name. So what is the package standards you need to follow? com dot wba dot product or com dot xyz, whatever it is. So this is the description of the project. CRUD operations for Spring Boot. CRUD operations for Spring Boot project with products. Just click next. So here, this is the latest version of the Spring Boot 2.7.5. And here we need to select dependencies. So these are the dependencies. If you see these guys, okay. So there are a lot of dependencies it is available. SQL, Spring Cloud, Spring Security, Web, okay. Just type web, click on the Spring Web. Next, JPA, Spring Data JPA we need to select. And then next option is H2. Either if you want to go with the H2 database, then you can select this H2 database. So I'm going to use MySQL. So MySQL is installed into my machine. So I'm going to select this MySQL driver. Okay. These are the three dependencies. And another dependency is Lombok. Today I'm going to explain. So what is Lombok also, and what is the necessity of Lombok? We will see now. Just click on finish. So this is the first time it is going to create the project. So it will take some time to create the project. So whatever the dependencies which we have added, right? So those are all present in this form.xml. So if you see this one, see these are the dependencies which we have added. So what is the necessity of these dependencies? What is the necessity of these dependencies means? So it will always create a jar file. Suppose you want to connect with a MySQL. So there is one jar file, it will get download and it will place it into Maven repository. Okay, that we will see now. So the project is getting import. Let's wait for a few minutes. So far, any doubts? So if you have any doubts so far, then you can ask me. Yes or no? So Lombok, okay. So if it is the first time, it will take some time. Okay, so now the percentage is 79%. So here you can see, so the difference between normal Java project and Spring Boot project. So here the right side, you can see boot. Okay, so if you are able to see this boot means, okay, this is an Spring Boot application. This is an Spring Boot application. So here you can see Maven dependencies folder. Okay, these are the dependencies. Okay, these are the dependencies. It is required to run this project. It is required to run this project. So if you observe here, see Spring Web. So this is one of the jar. Okay, this is one of the jar. And the same way, MySQL and Lombok and everything. Okay, see, you can see Lombok. Okay, I'll tell you. So what is Lombok and what is the necessity of Lombok in today's class. So this is a pom.xml. So which I already told. Okay, all the dependencies will command sit here. So these are the main things. Okay, source main Java and source main resources. So all the configurations. Okay, application related configurations. So where we need to run our application and what are the database configurations. So everything we are going to write it in application.properties. Application.properties. Suppose I want to run my application. I want to run my application with different port. So, okay, the default port is 8080, but I want to run my application with 9292 something. So then we need to write all the configurations over here. And all the Java related code, we are going to write it in source main Java. And what is this source test Java? So all the JUnit test cases and everything, we are going to write it in source test Java. So still it is importing. So let's wait for a few seconds. So meanwhile, so what are the things it is required in order to create a Spring Boot CRUD applications? Okay, so we'll see here. So we need to create packages. So we need to create different type of packages. So what are the packages it is required? So here it is required. I'm going to create it for one of the package for model and repository and controller and service. Okay, controller and service. Suppose in order to handle any exceptions, we are going to create exception package also. So coming to model. So what is the necessity of this model? So whatever it is the input, right? Okay, product ID, name, quantity, price. So this type of values, suppose this type of values. So this is like a model. So this is one of the model like input model. So I want to pause ID, email, first name and last name. So these kind of values. So these values will come from a model class. So repo is kind of like, okay, so it's like from persistent layer. If you want to connect with the database, we need this repo. And controller is like controlling our application. So what is our endpoint? Suppose this is my endpoint. I want to, whenever I'm going to hit this endpoint, so this should go to controller. And the same thing, it is going to transfer into service. In this service, we are going to bind it with a repository. I'll show you the one of the diagram, okay, so that you will get it understood. So this is typical web application architecture. So here it is an user. So this is like UI. It's like a front end. So this is for a product space. What you are going to do? So you are going to enter something. Okay, there is a product ID 101 and product name mobile and quantity is 30, 40. You can assume like, okay, this is a Amazon or Flipkart website. In backend, they are going to push it some values over here. So then it will come to web components like logics and handling. So we are going to handle it everything here and business components. So inside, so what is the quantity and it's like controller kind of thing. Then coming to persistent components in the sense it's like repos and PTOs. So here once it come to repo, so the data will get stored into database. The data will get stored into database. So this is how backend it will work. So if you take any if you take any applications, not only our CRUD application. So CRUD is like, okay, backend only. So this is like entire web application architecture. If you take Flipkart, Amazon, Myntra, okay, whatever it is. Even you guys have seen like, um, Facebook, right? Like Facebook for sign up. So what will happen? So user will come to fb.com and you are going to give your details. So once you give your details, it will get stored into database and the same details you are going to log in. So this is like a backend thing. Okay. So the backend of the application. So how it is going to process. So still it is downloading. So once the project get created, so the very first step what we need to do, so we need to create packages over here. So this is the main package, okay, com.wa.product. Just give new package. So what is the first package we need to create? Model. Okay. So the same way we need to create it for all the packages, repo, service, controller, exception, and whatever it is.